Hi, I'm Jale. I'm here to deliver part 2 to the set of videos that I'm completing. Part 1 was posted 29th of August 2019, which was about the new black supermoon. If you haven't already watched that video that was posted, please take a look and then come back to this one. Essentially, it's about what's being removed, what's the focal point between now and September the 18th in order to kickstart us into part 2. So what is part 2 about? So September the 18th, 2019 is going to kickstart a brand new 12-year cycle, okay? Now, basically the situation here is, this is about Jupiter, okay? How the brand new sort of Jupiter return is going to start from that date is based on the fact that Jupiter was previously in retrograde, okay? From April the 10th until August the 11th, okay? And it's currently now out of that, so it's now gone direct. So what is retrograde? Retrograde is when a planet is potentially sort of almost like the effects of that is halted. I like to review it or view it as a pause. So it's a pause to reflect. So naturally Jupiter relates to contributing to sort of justice, luck, abundance, good fortune, growth, and any future aspirations. So August 11th up until sort of moving on to September 18th could have been that maybe you started or wanted to start something and haven't quite felt the time was right. You'd be right in sticking to that gut instinct, because the reason why it's suddenly then changing around September the 18th is because of Saturn, okay? Now, Saturn is still in retrograde. It was in retrograde from April the 29th again until September the 18th, 2019, okay? And what is Saturn? Saturn can make you move forward and evolve, or it can also restrict and limit. So you've got Jupiter that's kind of come out of this retrograde period, is ready for this brand new start around August the 11th, but it's kind of on hold. It's waiting, it's tentative based on Jupiter's influence and beg your pardon, Saturn's influence coming out of retrograde on September the 18th. So Saturn is essentially like almost like an engine, and it's stuck in neutral at the moment, and then when it comes out of retrograde on September the 18th, sort of first gear, and it's going to be chugging that Jupiter along almost. That's how I'm kind of seeing it, where the propelling forward of Jupiter, what it naturally wants, is going to enable that, is going to allow any kind of good fortune, is going to kickstart that 12-year period. Okay, so how does the 12-year period sort of reflect, and what is this 12-year sort of period cycle? So I'm viewing it as almost like a timeline solidification. That's kind of how I want to describe it. Now, to briefly go into that, obviously down here we're on linear time. We are on a trajectory, let's say, based on our current actions, but also free will as well as influences around us. And it's viewed as, timelines are viewed as most likely outcomes. So the timeline that you're currently on up until between now and obviously as you progress through life, there are certain influences or certain probabilities that that timeline will stay and remain the same. My focus here with this timeline change is to review the influences of Jupiter and to integrate those into this new timeline in order for you to correct or change anything before this timeline solidifies. Hence why I went into the super black new moon video, because this is about removals. And now part 2 is also about the removal of parts from part 1, but part 2, Jupiter, what can it bring us? What can we gain from this? How is Saturn going to propel forward the Jupiter placement? Now, this is the thing. Yes, around September the 18th, you are probably going to see an increase in luck because of that shift in Saturn, okay? And you'll probably have you'll see the effect on that based on where natally or progressed your Jupiter is placed, which sign and which house, okay? But what also you need to be looking at is, when does the Jupiter in your chart officially complete the 12-year cycle? And that is going to be different for absolutely everyone, okay? Now, obviously, I can give you a snapshot of the signs and the houses based on maybe what you know, but for a more individualized, personalized look, please contact me. We can take a look at that. I will be offering extended review and look at Jupiter for £11.11. Other currencies, let me know and I'll give you a conversion. But what that's going to involve is the progressed placement. So natally, the snapshot, what was your kind of focal point around Jupiter at birth in comparison to the progressed charts, which is now the new kind of influences, both signs and houses and what that represents. Also the trajectory. So when is your specific Jupiter placement, when is that actually going to complete that 12-year cycle and start afresh? What dates, what key dates between now and the 12 years do you need to be looking out for? But also any other significant insights. Okay, so again, I will, put all the information in the description box below. Reach out to me, let me know if you're interested. But for those who want a bit of a snapshot based on natal sign and house, and for more au fait astrologers that maybe are a bit more aware of the situation, progressions, so where is Jupiter progress, which sign and which house, this is a bit of a rundown for which my guides have wanted me to kind of give an insight on, because we want people to be aware of what this means for them. Okay, so if you've been sat, like I said, between the April period and now, and you've been reviewing what it is you want moving forward, and you can't quite understand, it could be that the key is in this. Okay, it could be that what you thought and your gut instinct was actually this is going to confirm it. So again, I'm not asking anyone to go away from their intuition. I'm asking you to stick and trust your intuition, because I feel like we need to value that, we need to honor that. But this is more of a compounding evidence and sort of almost like a validation, let's say, in order to encourage. Okay, so let's go into a little bit about Jupiter first of all. So if your Jupiter natally or progressed is in Sagittarius or Pisces, it rules these signs. Okay, so what that means is it has a very strong influence. So it could be that, especially at the moment, because Jupiter is actually in Sagittarius, when it sort of obviously has that impression or that kickstart from Saturn around September the 18th, or even from August the 11th, you felt the effects of this. Pay attention, because I feel like this is going to be really useful for you guys. But also Pisces, I'll go on to Pisces in a little bit, because they want me to channel something about Pisces. Also, if you are having Jupiter in your natal or progressed chart, or within your sign, within sign or house, so 12th house or Cancer, this is very auspicious. It's actually exalted in Cancer, so this is a bit of a powerhouse for you guys. There's going to be a really strong emphasis. Now it's interesting, because someone reached out to me for an extended reading already about this sign, and I'm not going to give names because I don't want to embarrass that person, but actually yours is exalted in Cancer and your chart is on its way to you. So it's so interesting how people are already picking up on this, and the people that feel that oomph to kind of reach out are the ones that this is really affecting. Now I'll give you an example here. My Jupiter natally, progressed, is actually in the first house, right? So when I read the first house thing, you're going to be like, okay, this makes sense. But it really does integrate, and it really resonates with so many sort of how the astrological charts and progressed charts are made up. So let's start with Jupiter natal and progressed, Aries or house 1. Okay, now if you do want me to give an in-depth insight into how to look at this information, I will post a video on that if you let me know in the comments box. Essentially, I use www.astro.com. that's www.astro.com. No, I'm not being sponsored by them, but it's a sort of website that I use, and it's really, for me, I read my charts from there. So let me know if you want me to explain how to look at the sort of natal and progress. I can show you that in another video, but it'll be posted tomorrow, but let me know. So Aries or house 1, Jupiter in either progressed or natally. This is about the self, okay? So this is about new images, new self-expression, how you present to the world, your fitness, your sense of risk. So have you been reviewing your health and vitality, you as an overall being, not just how you present, but especially because it's house 1, it will probably have an influence on the ascendant, and the ascendant is very much about how you sort of portray yourself to the world. So this is going to really, and this really resonates with me because mine is just below the ascendant, and yeah, I have been really trying to start my fitness. As you can see, I've started on YouTube, so there was obviously, my guides were probably nudging me to do this. In fact, I was meditating on this information, and that's when a lot of this information came through. And I was thinking, great, I've hit the jackpot. You know, you've given me all these heads up. I can actually put this in action now before this takes place, and then it will really propel me forward and hopefully bring that good luck and fortune. And they were like, yeah, but you also have to let everyone else know. And I'm like, good point. So it's great. They can give me that insight. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Aries is about really strong, defined ideals as well, I want to say, and sort of progressing that forward. So if you've really start to take on new form, new identity, and you feel like you want to express that in a different way, this could be writing, doesn't have to be on YouTube, you could be writer, you could be a singer, you could be an artist, you could be a jewelry designer. It doesn't have to be in one sort of modality. Almost have a look at that. How do you want to express to the world? What is it that you feel you can contribute? What is it you want to say? What's your truth? Okay, so again, natal or progressed Jupiter now in Taurus or house 2. Okay, so this is obviously looking from September 18th. So this is about growth in values. This is about possessions, monetary value. This could be about the sort of physicality, the three-dimensional realm. So earthly pleasures, food, wines. It could be that you've got very defined tastes, and you could be a wine connoisseur. Maybe you're opening a winery or something. And this is also about in sort of money, savings, everything very three-dimensional. Aesthetics. Taurus is usually a very aesthetically pleasing. It could be maybe you've started to get into art and you want to, you know, your growth in your value. You admire a certain quality in something, and it really fulfills you, and you want to propel that, and maybe that will give you an extra income, you know. Now we've got Gemini, house 3, which is natal or progressed. You can look at either one of those for Jupiter. This is about learning. This is about new skills, education, short courses. This is also about friendship groups. Now, have you over the last couple of months felt maybe a bit distant from friends? Have you been looking at sort of really branching out and meeting new people, but something's held you back? Saturn, Jupiter, all the retrogrades. This could be your little indicator, and don't forget to check when that actually does progress through Gemini or 3rd house, when the starting point of that Jupiter return is. That will be kickstarting and give you almost a timing indicator. Now, they don't have time up there, but this is why I really rely on astrology, because I feel like it does give definitive insight into that, so we can really validate it down here in the physical three-dimensional reality. This Gemini 3rd house is also about siblings, so maybe you've started getting closer to your siblings. Maybe you want to reach out to them, maybe they want to reach out to you. This is about a growth and a bonding of that element, of that sibling element. It could be that you've never got on with a sibling, and that actually the relationship's really going to change around this time for the better. You know, don't forget that luck and that progressed forward from Jupiter element. So Cancer, house 4, okay? Now, don't forget, this is auspicious and exalted in Cancer. I feel like if you're the nurturer, you're the influencer, you're the person that is really the grounded influence at home. This is about family. This is about emotional nourishment. There's going to be, from what I'm getting here, because I'm also using the guides for the insight here, I'm not just using my notes that I've been kind of researching. What nourishes you? But I mean on a soul level, not just what is expected of you from family and friends and whoever else. What nourishes you? What feeds your soul? What gives you that day-to-day oomph? What kickstarts your passion? What makes you feel whole? Okay, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about this. Goodness knows how you're going to feel, but it's very positive, because if you've taken a bit of a back seat and maybe you've focused a lot more on the family side of things, maybe this is about stepping out of that and not just being the family nurturer, but also embodying your divine element, your divine essence for you. There's something very empowering about this energy, and I'm extremely emotional. So it could be that you might even feel very emotional around, and don't forget to check the date of when this progresses, either into Cancer or 4th house, the Jupiter then effectively officially makes that return, because that will be when it really takes hold. Okay, but this is a reviewing of the family. What has not been fair in the past for you? What has not treated you well? What do you feel you've put out there but maybe didn't receive on a return? What is your understanding of family? This, and I feel like this is going to go right the way back. Okay, so, and again, they're really drawing me in on Lilith here. So I would be certainly, if I'm Jupiter progressed or natally in Cancer, I would really be looking at my Lilith, because there's a really strong divine feminine element here. And this also is relating to the matriarch, so the mother's line in the family. What is being removed in order to clear, to progress forward into a pattern of behavior or new cycle for your children, for your family? Yeah, so it's like this is a kind of generational sweep. This is really powerful. Okay, so really take a look at that, but I'm getting real good vibes from it. So you're going to sense a real empowerment from this, I feel. Now obviously, if you're not relating to this, it could be that maybe your Lilith isn't in a strong position, or a certain element, and at which point it's not as powerful. But certainly for at least one chart that I'm sending out, I've got a feeling, girl, and that feeling is good on ya, good on ya. Right, so we're going to look at Gemini in 5th house now. So again, natally or progressed, creativity, passion, children. This is about the divine artistic side. This is about what sets that heart chakra on fire. This is about heart chakra. This is about sitting in your emotional element. This is about what spurs you forward. Your ego or self-expression, how you present to the world, you in the spotlight. Maybe you're a talented artist, maybe you're a singer, and that was always something that was really creatively good for you and was your passion, but you never really wanted to step out into that spotlight. Well, Jupiter, this, within the natal or progressed, either fifth house or Leo, beg your pardon, Leo or 5th house, this could really kickstart that luck or that good fortune. Okay, so what about Virgo or 6th house, either natally or progressed with Jupiter? Okay, so this is about the physical, the mental and spiritual health. So it could be that you are really doing a total overhaul of your key values, how you propel yourself forward, not just on a physical basis. Maybe you're looking at your mental health, maybe you're training as a counselor, maybe you're reintegrating and taking a look at karmic past lives, or karma that you want to sort of really look at. And again, they're talking about here Lilith's influence here with this, so could be that you might need to look at Lilith as well here, because there's something around the Virgo 6th house that they're referring to here. But also spiritual health. What is it that maybe you feel has been a niggling, intuitive emphasis here that maybe you haven't looked at? What is inside you, and I've got to be careful how I'm channeling this, what is inside you that is actually your truth, that you have been putting off or keeping back because you weren't quite sure whether or not you're accurate with it? It's like there's a bit of a self-doubt here. There's a bit of I would be looking at trusting of the self, how to develop trust in the self, but I'd also be looking at, wow, I'm getting a lot now. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to burp on a video, but this is the thing. When I'm releasing, this is so embarrassing, but I'm going to be real. When I'm releasing and channeling energy, if I feel like there's a really emotive subject behind the energy I'm channeling and it needs to be purged, I burp. I'm cringing saying that right now, but I'm going to be real with you. So Virgos, can you do me a favour? I would be looking at a total 3-point system with this, not just the physical, not just the mental, not just the spiritual. I'd be looking at what externally is around you, what people around you are able to encourage the values, keeping to those 3 principles. Are they encouraging this, or are they holding this back, or are they allowing you to move forward? Because that energy is really strong right there. Now, it could be 1 or 2 of you watching this video. They're saying no. I feel like Virgo, I'd be looking at that. And now this isn't negative to say, oh no, look, it's all negative. No, don't get me wrong. I feel like there's something within the chart here for Virgos, for Jupiter progressed or natally in either 6th house or Virgo, that is actually going to be a massive positive change. Okay, this is not to say, oh, you know, be worried, be scared. We're not about fear mongering here. We're about giving a heads up so we can actually grab an opportunity with both hands with what we've been given. And I feel like when I'm picking up that energy, there's a massive potential here for huge changes. Okay, so maybe take a look at that. It's also about daily practices, so routine. What is it about your daily routine that maybe you want to change? What is it about your day-to-day that you don't feel that you're able to fit all these other elements into? Take a look at that. Take a look at planning, how you can replan, recalibrate your day-to-day so that you can, you know, work in and integrate these assisted or other elements. Okay, so now we're on to Libra house or house 7. So that's natal or progressed Jupiter, either in Libra or house 7. So this is about partnerships, marriage, love. This is about partnership with the self. Are you full and whole within yourself? Are you complete? Do you feel complete? Are you emotionally nourished? Do you have a partnership that you feel like, you know, is really starting to solidify? Do you feel like love is a big theme at the moment for you? Are you looking for commitment? That's another one, because I'd be scoping the Jupiter out, if I'm totally honest with you, because it could be an indicator that you are going into a very much a deeper commitment with somebody, not just with yourself but with another human being. And that doesn't have to just be about love in the romantic sense. This could be about family. You know, again, if you look at other people that are around you and their Jupiter, you could be seeing a connection there. It could be that, you know, theirs is also in Libra or house 7, and you know, that's your partner, and potentially there's a marriage or a deeper commitment there. So this is definitely going to resonate for someone, so pay attention for that one. I don't mean to keep pointing, but so now we're on to Scorpio or house 8. Now that's natal or progressed Jupiter for Scorpio or house 8. So this is about sex. This is about investments, inheritances, the esoteric and spirituality. So my guides are saying, right, now we need to give a bit more information on this one. They're giving me a prod. Have you recently, oh, it sounds so serious, don't I? It's not that serious. If you're worried about getting into the spiritual side, you don't have to be. I have very good protection. My guides protect me. They give me a heads up. It doesn't have to be scary. Maybe you've been looking at it and thinking, I don't know if I want to do this. This is a bit much. I get it. But with that leap of faith, this is propelling you on a path where essentially is almost like an indicator of where you could be needing to go. If you're not resonating with this and you're sat there thinking, well, I'm not even interested in that. Why would you even tell me to do that? I'm not. I'm saying if you've had a gut instinct or this is resonating with you and you wanted compound proof or evidence, you know, another kind of validation in order to say, yeah, this is your heads up, go ahead. That's how I'd be reading this information. It doesn't have to just be the esoteric or what's hidden or what's behind the veil. This could be about investments. Maybe you're wanting to start, you know, a company or a venture that is going to invest for the future. Maybe that's something you've been looking at. And maybe also, you know, maybe you could have Jupiter in 8th house in Taurus, you know, which would mean the Taurian money element with the investment, which would for me be compounding that and saying, yeah, great, go for it. You know, this could be a lucky period. And don't forget to check, when does Jupiter go into that? When does it complete the 12-year cycle in your sign and house, ready to go back round? Yeah, for 12 years. So now we're going to look at Sagittarius or 9th house, again, natal or progress. So this is about teaching. This is about traveling, adventure, wisdom, higher learning, okay? This is also, because it's now rules Jupiter, Sagittarius is also going to be significant, they're saying. Now, we're actually in Sagittarius. Jupiter's actually currently in Sagittarius at the moment, okay? Which actually is natally, or sorry, beg your pardon, yeah, it's actually in my house, my first house. So this is really relevant to me, and I didn't even know I was going to be starting YouTube and I didn't even know I was going to be doing this, but there was something that, again, don't forget, it's that gut instinct. I didn't just channel this information and then sort of randomly start a YouTube channel. This YouTube channel became before, and then I channeled this afterwards, and I thought, wow, like, okay, definitely can't doubt my decision now, because they're kind of like, you know, we're giving you a heads up here. So for you, Jupiter in Sagittarius, natally or progressed or 9th house, from September the 18th will be very auspicious, okay? You'll probably see the effects more than most because of the fact that it's currently in Sagittarius, ready for Saturn to obviously kickstart that progression, more forward movement, which is going to kickstart the, you know, the Jupiter influence. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say gamble your money, because obviously that's ridiculous. But what I'm going to say to you, Sagittarius, I beg your pardon, Jupiter in Sagittarius or 9th house, is on September the 18th, if you are feeling a bit lucky, maybe put a pound on a scratch card or a dollar on a scratch card. And again, if you cannot afford that dollar, don't live by me. I'm just giving an example. I don't expect someone to email me saying I'm broke, because, you know, trust your own gut instinct here. But this, certainly for me, I'm looking at it as certainly a lucky period for Jupiter, natally or progressed in Sagittarius or 9th house, okay? Okay, now, and don't forget, this is going to have some good bearing and influence over especially the exalted sign in Sagittarius and Pisces, but also it will have a bit of an influence for everyone in general because of that kickstart on September the 18th. But again, don't forget to look at when natally and progressed your sign actually does complete that 12-year cycle, when it is back in its natural home, okay? So Capricorn or 10th house, okay, this is about career, this is about competition, okay? So mastery of crafts, skill and work ethic. Are you ambitious? Do you have an ambition towards something that you have not yet been doing or completing or working on or looking at? Over the last few months, have you had an urge to sit there and start a project, start a career change, a move, a difference in career, how you earn your money? I would be looking at that. And certainly, if let's say your Jupiter is in 10th house, what sign is it in? Okay, because then it could compound what type of career you'd be looking at. All right, and again, I'd be looking at the progress side for that one. They want me to say something else on Capricorn. Okay, so they're talking here about a kickstart, and it could be that you're having a bit of a stop-start notion here. It could be that you take a look and your your Jupiter return actually starts, I don't know, in January for the 12 years, right? It could be that you start something in January and it takes a bit of a while to build up, because they're giving me a bit of a slow burner here with this. So, and again, Capricorn kind of is that energy. So don't be disheartened if you don't see overnight results. This is not to say that I'm talking utter rubbish and that everything you know that was giving you signs up until this point was also rubbish as well, because I know you Capricorns, you know, I've got some family members who are Capricorns. You guys can be really hard on yourselves. Keep that faith, all right? Keep that faith. Don't forget, Jupiter is about expansion and growth, and it, you know, that this is not a race. This is a slow burning kind of energy, okay? Now we're going to look at Aquarius or 11th house, Jupiter natally or progressed. This is about community. This is about the larger tribe, communication, the bigger vision, okay? So your soul family, who are your friendship groups at the moment? Who do you resonate with? Who has recently kind of, maybe you're thinking, oh, we're growing apart a little bit here. This is about bringing your soul tribe in, your soul group, your soul kin. It could be that you're going to be given an opportunity to start meeting new people, and actually you've been hadn't sort of indications of that, and you're sat there thinking, oh no, I don't want to get rid of my friends, and you're a bit attached to that energy. I get it, and sometimes it can be a bit scary stepping out of that, but have a look at your Lilith, see if that maybe compounds the information. But I'd be looking at keeping an open mind with it, because of the fact that this is going to build into something bigger and a wider purpose. You guys are the humanitarians here, okay? Humanitarian work, charity work, looking after the, you know, world kind of interests, you know, even, and I'm getting the, you know, sort of nature and environmental issues. So if you've been really passionate about the Amazon and other kind of very contentious subjects that have been going on, It could be that your Jupiter is either progressed or natally in 11th house or Aquarius, and that is your cue, or one of many cues you've had, let's say, to start looking into this wider. And actually you could be then building in connections with other people and networking in order to build that kind of bigger picture and that vision that you have. Aquarians, you're very naturally kind of, well, not only you can see a very far in advance, but the guides are also saying you guys can doubt yourself a little bit, and you do tend to kind of live in your mind a little bit where you're kind of toing and froing a bit. If you've had 5 million clues about humanitarian work, building in and integrating other people within your environment, that maybe they're your soul tribe, please keep an open door with that, because I feel like, again, this is going to be a bit of a slow burner for you as well. And again, check when it does natally kind of progress back Jupiter, because that will be the date when it does all really start interconnecting this information. There's something on this planet that I feel that you're going to be really grabbing for sort of this next 12-year cycle. Now, I can't guarantee you, but I'm from the information I'm being given, I feel like if we kind of, let's say we fast forward 12 years and look back, there's going to be a heck of a lot of Aquarians or 11th house natal or progressed Jupiter placements within Aquarius or 11th house that are going to be really influential in changing certain, elements of our planet. And I feel like there's something, and I don't know why I want to say this, but I want to go to Christmas here. I feel like something's going to be announced, and I feel like if you were to look into the person who announces sort of Jupiter placements, they're going to have Aquarian or 11th house really strong influence, and Lilith could also be involved there. So that's a bit of an interesting one. It could also resonate with a few of you guys here as well, so just keep an eye out for that one. Last but not least, we've got Pisces in 12th house. So this is about fears, addictions, hidden strength, things left undone. Don't forget, Jupiter rules Pisces. It could be that you are, Pisces is a really strongly emotive sign. It's a very deep kind of emotional body sign. What is it that you feel subconsciously, because it rules the subconscious as well, what subconsciously do you feel that you need to be working on that maybe you're not ready to take a look at yet? What have you been slowly being nudged towards that you feel like, I've got a bit of a fear of this, or, it could be an attachment to something. It could be that a friendship group, a relationship, it could be a job. Maybe you don't like change. I'd be looking at your Pisces and, Jupiter in Pisces or 12th house to sort of see if this is going to affect you. And then also, if that's, let's say Jupiter was in Pisces, but in 5th house, how does the 5th house influence integrate into those Piscean elements to sort of, really build a bigger picture? So that's pretty much it. There was other things I wanted to say as well. I'm just waiting for the guys to kick through here. But this is essentially what we're looking at for, a 12-year cycle here, moving or starting from September 18th. Now, there is going to be a third part to this, which is going to be roughly mid-October. And this is going to also happen building up to between now and Christmas. So there'll be one probably in October, probably one in November, and then probably one in December, one in January. I can't give all the information at the moment because I don't think anyone's going to be able to follow this if I do. So I'm trying to break it down for everyone, but just keep an eye out. Please subscribe, click on the notification button to get an update as to when I get to do post videos. I post Monday to Friday, usually different elements, different sort of things. If you do want me to look at a certain element, subject matter, please make a note, comment in the description, in the box below. If you want to take part of my offer, please email me. All the information is in the description box. If you liked the video, if you thought this was maybe remotely useful to you, please like and share and subscribe. And hopefully I've helped and I've delivered this as per intended. Let me just see if there's any last information. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so again, Lilith, what was removed, ready for September 18th, ready to start this new 12-year cycle. But again, checking when natally your Jupiter does start, return to its home, then that's when the 12-year cycle will begin, okay? What is it? This is a checks and balances type scenario. This is about justice. So what is it over the last 12 years that you felt that you've plowed energy into and didn't get a return on? You know, that is what this is going to be about. This is about karmic balance, okay? So pay attention to how you're viewing or you're treating people between now and September the 18th, because we need all the good karma we can get. I mean, this is not about being fake and only doing good because this is going to be a good influence. No. This is about utilising an opportunity and using it to our advantages. I want everyone happy, aligned, ideally, and in their power where they need to be, because hopefully then I've done my work, you know. Okay, so guys, I'm sorry this is, oh my God, 35 minutes. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Much appreciated. Video tomorrow, guys. Speak soon. Thanks. Bye.